Welcome to Out of the Fog. I'm Melissa Royle-Critch. Tonight we have Don Chafe and Tonia Sheridan of Atlantic Business Magazine. They are the brand new co-owners, but they also come with a long and interesting history with the magazine, helping to bring it where it is today. So they're here to chat about the magazine and what it's done so far, but also what they're going to do and put their own spin on it and some really great, fresh new ideas. Then we're speaking with Colinda Gosse and Kearsey, two of the organizers of an event coming up this Saturday night at Club 1 to say thank you to the troops, the first responders, and a number of other people who helped out in our city and surrounding areas after the storm last week and the following state of emergency. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with those interviews.
You're watching Rogers TV, St. John's.
We're here for you and your wife.
Don't take them!
Valentina, Lucia, Beto, Emilio, I'm sorry.
We have no other family here. Besides my parents, it's just me.
Being a musician, can't afford that right now.
I don't want to be like Mommy and Papi.
Neither do I. You have to be strong.
Are these children being parented?
I'll take care of things.
They're gonna split us up.
No one is going to split us up.
Party of 5. New series Wednesdays at 10 on ABC Spark and W. You're watching Rogers TV, St. John's.
Welcome back to Out of the Fog. I'm here with Don Chafe and Tonia Sheridan of Atlantic Business Magazine. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much. We're delighted to be here.
Thanks, Melissa.
And of course, you've had a big announcement in the past couple of weeks that you two are now the co-owners of the magazine. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I know you've had, Don, we'll start with you. You've had such a long history with this magazine. What led you to start the steps to take over as one of the new owners?
Yeah, so I've been with the magazine actually over 20 years. And Tonia, believe it or not, has been there longer, so she's there since it was in diapers. But this is something that kind of just evolved naturally. Hubert and Edwina, the founders, the owners, previous owners of the company, very much made the staff feel like they had a direct ownership within the publication. Like it was you, you had so much responsibility, and you really had a feeling of ownership anyway, so it kind of naturally evolved over time as they prepared to retire themselves. So, and I just want to point out that Tonia is actually their daughter.
Right. So, I mean, it's a pretty unique type of family business. And like you say, you've grown up with it. The business has grown up, obviously, with your involvement as well. So for you, what's it going to take to go from directing sales to continuing in the sales role, but also with the ownership?
Well, I always say that, so I still only have one head, but I have more hats now. So forever, I've been a part of the sales team and I've grown the marketing side of things. And my territory for mainstay is New Brunswick and PEI, believe it or not. So there's a lot of Hubert in the St. John's arena, so to speak, with regards to being out in the venues and whatnot. So that is a big shoe to fill in the St. John's business market. And so now I am venturing out into more association, conferences and those kinds of things to understand the needs of this market more too.
And so, it's been such a popular magazine, a popular publication for so long. What are some of the elements of it that are going to stay the same, that your loyal viewers and readers can actually, look forward to continuing?
For sure. So we just finished a pretty in-depth readership survey, and it was actually an advertising survey as well. We decided before we made any changes, we wanted to assess what people really liked most about us. What we could change, what was sacrosanct, what can we not change, right? We would get in trouble.
What was sacrosanct? What did people really
So
love?
they love the fact that we're a print publication. Like that was do not change. So you kind of think in today's digital world that people say, oh, become more digital, but actually no, they love the print medium. They say it is a luxury product. They like the way they digest information on print differently than they would online. The fact that we have a bi-monthly frequency was really important to them because we tell stories in a different way. So thankfully, we don't have to compete with daily news, which means we did not have to go out into the big storm last week. And so those are things that we are going to protect and move forward with, but we're going to build on this. We have this powerful legacy, and we're going to be implementing changes as well that are going to allow us to grow into new directions.
So the change is obviously the fun part. So what are some things that you're looking forward to bringing in that's
Yeah.
new to the publication?
Well, what we started at the end of last year, we found, well, it wasn't found, it was just exploded for us, the 30 under 30, so the innovation side of things. And that,
So this is like 30 entrepreneurs
Exactly.
under
30
30 years old?
entrepreneurs
This
under the,
particular edition here that we did. And it was 30 young innovators, obviously, because they're all under 30 in Atlantic Canada.
My cousin's in there, Jonathan King.
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
Give him a little shout out.
yeah.
So anyway, so this is what Tonia is referring to.
Yes, and I mean, they're teenagers, so there was 30 of them under 30. And
Yeah.
what we really found profound was that each of those individuals wanted to, were obviously starting their business in Atlantic Canada, but they wanted to grow and keep it here, which was was powerful. Because I mean, they didn't want to be bought out, they didn't want to move, and so that's one of the things that we were saying. Okay, we're launching that event in September of this year.
Yeah.
And how invigorating is that? I mean, given Newfoundland's kind of constant struggles with the demographics
Exactly.
and with our economy where it is right now, to highlight the up and coming and the optimism.
Absolutely, it's kind of like youthful rebellion. And so they're saying, instead of moving away, we're going to stay here, darn it, and we're going to make it work here. So that's
Well, one of the things, pardon me, that to the point of the interest in the print. Interestingly, 54% of our readers are between the ages of 31 and 49.
Oh, wow.
That was a surprising statistic when I bring it out to our advertisers and see what that is, because they're going, oh.
exactly. Right?
Yeah.
So
And speaking of the print version, it's available and kind of featured in places that are kind of atypical of a magazine.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about the relationships you have, with Air Canada, for example, and how you get such great placement, which leads to the readership of the physical version?
yeah, because we have such a strong readership of subscribers throughout the region, here in Atlantic Canada. But we have a really strong readership outside of Atlantic Canada, across Europe and into the United States, and that really is through our partnership with Air Canada and the Executive Lounges. We're one of the few magazines that's actually been invited to put our publication there. And I think one of the most gratifying instances since I've been with the publication was one time I had a phone call from this reader who was actually on the tarmac in Rome, and who just wanted to call and say that loved the latest edition and was planning to subscribe as soon as she got home.
That was the CEO of Boeing, by the way.
Yes.
No big deal.
No big deal, yeah.
No big deal.
And of course, I love looking forward, and I love the new generation of entrepreneurs. But given your history in the magazine, you've also obviously profiled, stalwarts of industry
Exactly.
and the economy and the business community as it's developed here over the past couple of decades. And recently, of course, the province was kind of affected, in a big way by the loss of John Crosby. And you had a post that really was lovely about his contributions to the magazine and how he was featured.
Yeah, he was such an instrumental part of the founding days of the publication. Hubert, the founder, very, very well. He helped launch the first magazine at the Royal York in Toronto way back 37 years ago.
Yeah.
So the predecessor to Atlantic Business Magazine was Newfoundland Lifestyle. He wrote a column with us for years. And so the scariest thing for me as a new editor when I came on was knowing I was going to have to edit John Crosby's work. And that's
a tall task.
a very tall task. And so we had one page, because it was literally, his column was called The Back Page. So he had the last word every issue. And so he would send in so on one page we can fit about 700, 750 words. So of course he sent me every time somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500 words for that one page. So it was going to get cut back. And I would cut
A
it
legal
back.
document.
Yeah, it was definitely like a legal brief. And I would reduce it, send it back to him for his approval. And I always knew when he was in trouble, when he called me and he'd go, "Good morning, sunshine." And I was like, uh-oh, I've done it now. And so, yeah, he would kind of go on from there. And one time he told me, he said, if you were any kind of an editor, he said, you'd stand up for your writers and you'd give me more page. And I said, but Mr. Crosby, you have the back page. I can't create more back pages.
That's too funny.
But he was wonderful to work with. And it's such a significant part of our legacy. And if I could just build on that a little bit in
Sure.
terms of where we're going forward. So a big piece of our publication for a long time has been the top 50 CEOs.
Yes.
That's now in its 22nd year?
Yes.
22nd year.
Yep.
And so one of the things we're doing moving forward is really enhancing our image, our responsibility to help build business. So we don't want to just tell stories about business, but take a more active role in helping business, I guess, regenerate and grow and prosper throughout Atlantic Canada. So looking at our top CEOs, one of the things we're planning to do is increase the functionality on our website so that we can have these extensive profiles of the Hall of Famers and indicate people who might be interested in investment opportunities or mentorships, or who might be available to do public speaking opportunities. And so just really forging the connection between our past with the top CEOs who are all 5-time award winners, and emerging generations of businesses and how they can make connections via our publication.
Another way that you've jumped into advocating for business recently is, post this big snowstorm, state of emergency, encouraging people to shop local. So how do you see going forward, that campaign in particular, but also, ensuring that our business community is alive and well?
Right. Do you want to jump on that one?
Well, to the point of the Snowmageddon and the buy local and what have you, we have a very creative and clever Sarah Smelly is our
our new social hire.
She's a great writer.
Yeah, she's
amazing. And she's fabulous. And I really bow to that because she just has such a flair for the creative, and to that point, like, it was just a brilliant idea. It was just like, wow. So to that point, I just deflect and defer and just sit back and just watch and pick up on what it is that I could utilize from her creativity and bring it to, because I mean we're getting more traction, a lot more traction in the past couple of months with our socials, and so I can bring that from an analytical perspective to our clients and what we're doing.
So it's basically, as we get excited about business, we're doing things creatively to try to make other people excited about what the business community is doing, and understanding how it's such an integral part of the economy. So it's not sort of an us versus them, employers versus employees, but very much celebrating business as an integral part of the community, and what it does, in terms of volunteer and supporting charities and providing valuable, much-needed jobs.
And I love the reverence you hold Hubert in, and how when you talk about him, you both light up, and his contribution to this magazine, obviously for different reasons. But is he going to be around? Is he still going to be a phone call away if you need him, or is he just kind of?
Well, he's my father, so yes, absolutely. No, there's a lot of wisdom that we can take, and he's not going anywhere in the next couple of years, anyways. I mean, the advisory role that he plays with us, I mean, just in a couple of instances today alone. Yes. And he's, his footprint, Melissa, is tremendous, of course, and so, it's very hard to move away from that. And besides, I don't know what he'd do.
And what are some of the lessons you're taking from him and his years with the magazine?
It's really interesting because he is so genuine and so heartfelt in everything he does. So he's incredibly passionate about the company, about business activity in Atlantic Canada. And so I like to think that we're, sort of taking that spirit of passion for what we do and really building on that moving forward. Also, he has such a, he's such a genuine person when it comes to dealing with people. And so he's very warm-hearted and very generous soul. So, we want to keep that spirit alive, because we are very much almost like a family business. I call myself an honorary Hutton sometimes, but we're a small group of people. We're incredibly nimble, always open to new ideas, and that's something that Hubert encouraged us to do all along, and that we're going to continue doing.
Yes, for sure.
And so for people who are excited to see the magazine and see the changes you bring in, all the exciting new features, what's the best place for people to find your magazine?
Well, you can go online at www.atlanticbusinessmagazine.com and subscribe.
Yes.
And then you'll have it right in front of you every other month.
And you have switched to a subscription model relatively recently.
We have.
And so how has the feedback been on that transition?
We were actually talking
about that on the way in.
And because we hadn't been promoting it in a big way or advertising it or anything, that's something we're going to be doing moving forward. So it's just been sort of happening naturally, as it were. And every week we're seeing quite a number of subscribers coming in automatically. So we're very happy with that. People are appreciating the quality of the publication and showing that appreciation by buying a subscription. And really, it's only $30 a year, and it will delivered straight to your home. So it's a tremendous value, really.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us and chatting
Thank
about
you,
the
Melissa.
magazine, and congratulations again.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks for having
We'll
us.
talk soon.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more Out of the Fog.
All right, girls.
Mom, you said it's played again.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Welcome back to Out of the Fog. I'm here with Colinda Gosse and Sean Kearsey, organizers of a big new event to celebrate, I guess, the end of the state of emergency and all of the people who helped throughout the storm and the cleanup. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what gave you the idea to jump into this and to give back to the community after the storm?
I was approached actually on another Facebook group to help organize a jigs dinner and maybe a screeching for the troops that were visiting. And I'm a caterer. That's my day job. And so I decided that, I'd like to help out with organizing that and maybe help them cook. And it just seemed to snowball from there. And it took on a life of its own, I think.
And so where are we now? What's the plans for the event coming up?
Well, we just secured our main acts today, which would be Larry Foley, and the punters. We have a venue at Mile 1 at Club 1.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at the convention center, but it's too big a venue. Thank God we were given the opportunity to go down to Club 1. Great venue, free of charge. And this event is free to the public, but what we do ask is people to bring a non-perishable food item for the food banks, or just a monetary donation for the food banks. So we're looking at having the Lions Club run that and take care of the food aspect of it. We'll confirm that tonight. We have another meeting after this. In typical Newfoundland style, just wanted to thank people at good old Newfoundland Kitchen Party.
Right, so there'll be music. You say it's the punters playing.
Punters are playing. We have 3 or 4 more local acts lined up. So it's going to be a great time, great music, good atmosphere, and get people out of the house after a state of emergency. Right?
And we'll come back to that, but I guess being that it's the idea was to have an event for the people who gave so much during the storm, especially the troops, but also the first responders. How are you making this event kind of special for them? What's in it for them to give back?
Sure. What we have done is we've extended an invitation to these groups, the troops, the first responders, snowplow operators, city workers, doctors and nurses, and hospital staff that, some of them work 60 hours without going home. So anybody like that, even private contractors, plow workers, that went above and beyond to help, help us get out of the mess that we were in. We've extended an invitation to these guys, and this is to not only to thank them, but to celebrate the spirit that everything was done in.
And what are some of the stories you heard coming out of the storm of people kind of going above and beyond?
Oh my goodness, I'll just take me for example. We all know, most of us know our neighbors on either side of us, but I know the whole street now. Day after a storm, we all get together and helping each other out. Some people have snow blowers, some people don't. Some people are elderly, some people have mobility issues. Mm-hmm. So you get out and even the pictures on Facebook, having a little fire and a sing-along in the middle of the street. I mean, where's that ever going to happen, right?
I came down my street, I guess it was maybe Monday, Tuesday, and right in the middle of the street, in the cul-de-sac, there was a barbecue, and the whole street was out having a barbecue, and it certainly brought the communities together, for sure.
And I love how you say it's a good chance to get people out of the house.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
how much do you
absolutely.
think the cabin fever setting in and trying to get rid of that now is going to play a part in building this event?
Yeah, and that was a part of it too. You know, I mean, people were, especially on the St. John side of things, you know, the state of emergency wasn't lifted until Saturday morning. And people it's all right to be stuck in the house, people saying, yeah, I get a week off or this and that, but you go stir crazy. I mean, because you're not allowed, being not allowed to drive, it does something on your psyche. You're going, oh my God, I can't go out today, you know? And now that it's all over, breath of fresh air, and thankfully most people got through it okay. So when Colinda started this Facebook page, you know, we got lots of hits and people joining it. So Colinda asked, you know, for an organizing group. So 7 of us initially got together, and we only met on Saturday past, and coming up with ideas of what to do. And through Colinda's vision, we sort of scrapped the dinner, but we still wanted to do something in thanks for, and not you know, it's not only us thanking, it's everybody thanking each other for just helping people out. Like Mark Critch said in his interview, where else in the world would everyone else want to come and be stuck in Newfoundland for a snowstorm? I mean, hey, it's just our true Newfoundland spirit. It really is. There's some wonderful stories out there floating around. You know, just camaraderie and people helping people, and that's what it should be like.
The outpouring of support has been tremendous. And yeah, it's really overwhelming.
And what about the aspect of getting people not just out of the house, but into local businesses? Because of course they were harmed or, you know, lost revenue throughout this week as well.
Yeah,
so are you hoping that people are
both of us
hitting the
actually
bars?
are small business owners, so we've felt the pinch, but especially bars and restaurants in the area. So our hope is that people will go out for a bite to eat wherever they're, whether it be Mount Pearl or St. John's, wherever. Come down and see the show, and then maybe carry on to some of the pubs downtown.
And I know, you know, part of this was just the original idea of this event was to support our troops. Unfortunately, I think some of them have now kind of left the province. They did their work pretty fast. I think they got out of here a little faster than people expected. So are you hoping the message kind of reaches them wherever they are back in Canada?
Absolutely. You know, our local troops are still here. Royal Newfoundland Regiment were instrumental
and the reserves.
And the reservists all out. So a lot of local guys, I guess we're hoping are going to show. But absolutely, you know, the troops are from all over Canada. You know, I don't think there's one member of the Canadian Armed Forces came down there to help out that's not going back a little heavier with a smile on their face. 'Cause, you know, I mean, even my company, we went out for a couple of days helping people out, and people were coming out, and we did it as just a service to help people. But I got more trays of cookies and offers of coffee, and I'm going, but again, where else would you get it?
That's
like,
right.
It's heartwarming. It really is.
And so if people want to come to this event, are there tickets in advance, or you got to show up at the door? And what's the details if people want to find out more?
So you can come on down. Doors open at 8 o'clock at Club 1. Again, we're asking for people to bring a non-perishable food item or a monetary donation, and to support our food banks.
The St. John's Food Bank is where you're playing? Okay.
Correct, yeah.
And other than that, come down and have a scuff and enjoy some entertainment and have a drink.
It's going to be good music and good times. And like I said, a lot of people I think are itching to get out. And this is just a little bit of a venue. And again, it's free of charge. So it's we're hoping it's going to be a lot of people well attended, and
big old kitchen party.
Big old kitchen party. Yeah, where else?
And I understand you got a Facebook page, so do you want to plug that to give us the details? So if anybody wants to see the details,
it's the kitchen party for our troops and first responders.
First responders. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on our show, and thanks for organizing this. I'm sure it'll be a really fun night, and hope you raise lots of money for the food bank.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Be right back with more Out of the Fog.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Thanks for watching Out of the Fog. Hope you enjoyed our chat with Don Chafe and Tonia Sheridan, the brand new owners of Atlantic Business Magazine. I'm a big fan of that publication, and I know you'll be too if you haven't seen it yet, so make sure to get online and subscribe, because there's all kinds of great new things coming out of that magazine. And then, of course, thank you so much to Colinda Gosse and to Kearsey for coming by and chatting with us about their upcoming event. So if you're interested, you can either pop by Club 1 on Saturday night, and don't forget to bring your non-perishable food item or your donation for the food bank, or you can check them out on Facebook at the Support Our Troops Kitchen Party. Hope you all stayed safe throughout the storm and the state of emergency and are all shoveled out, and we'll see you next time on Out of the Fog.